Welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey, and today's special 5-part series for Red Heart, what we have going on is 5 different unique stitches. Now all of these exist within one particular project, and it's called the Holiday Cables Throw, and it's a free pattern. I'll provide the link for the more information of that. So why did I do 5 videos instead of 1? The reality is that all of 5 of these stitches can be used independently each other. So as we go throughout the series, you're going to be able to learn the specific stitch that you have. So today's tutorial series, we're going to be learning the front ridge, we're going to be learning cables, arrow stitch, the woven stitch, as well as the Celtic weave. Now the Celtic weave is what caught my attention on this afghan in the beginning, and from that I've been able to learn. In actual reality, I've been running the Crochet Crowd for 6 years and I'm still learning new stitches. So when we come back, we're going to start off with our So let's explore the arrow stitch. If you're following with our 5-part series, you know that we've already done front ridge, we've done cable, and now we're exploring the arrow stitch. Now the arrow stitch has a raised arrow, so you can see that the arrows are taking effect. You will see that it's only a one-sided pattern, so it doesn't exist on both sides. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do these. The arrow stitches are actually relatively easy and one of the easier stitches of this entire sample. To do the arrow stitches as per the pattern for the Holiday Cables Throw, you will notice that we need to keep this in so many sets in order to make sure that the arrows all line up with each other. Now how you do that is that when you're starting off your chain, so if say you wanted to do this by itself, just the arrows, then you'll have to just keep it in sets of 4. So you'll go 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and when you get to the size that you want, add 2 more chains. And so this sample is basically already compensating for that. So let's begin, and I'll teach you how to do the arrow stitch. It only consists of 2 lines. Now one thing you should know about the arrow stitch is that it is one-sided, so we have to be very conscientious on where we start. So if this is the side that is the good side, we want to make sure that the arrows appear on the same side. So it makes a difference on how you're positioning when you're going to work with your back and front of your project. So let's begin, and I'll show you to do this right now. To begin the arrow pattern, you're going to want to start off with a nice consistent border on both sides. See how the cabling is kind of coming in and you have stitches on both sides of the cables? The same thing is going to happen within the arrows. Let's begin, and we're just going to chain up 3. 1 2 and 3, and we're going to immediately start doing our treble work. So let's begin to do that next, and we are just going to wrap and wrap. Okay, and that is a treble, and we're going to skip to the 4th empty one. So 1 2 3 and 4. And this is going to cause that stitch to go in on an angle like so. So we want to keep that stitch so it's on the good side. We notice that these cables are on the good side. If we work in front of it, it's going to push that in behind and you'll never see it. So we're going to put 3 double crochets in, 1 into each of the missing stitches that we've already skipped over. So we're just going to wrap, we're just going to move the yarn in forward like this and just double crochet the 3 remaining, 1 into each. And you know, this is because I'm I'm successful, but you do get used to doing it. So that's just one of those things when you're doing it, you're gonna say, I can never do it. Yes you can. You just gotta just get with it and just do it. Okay, so once I get that done, so you'll notice that there will be 3 groups of a group of 3 stitches in behind. So let's begin your next arrow. So we're gonna wrap and wrap. We immediately come back down to the line and go to the 4th empty one, and that will cause that one to go on an angle as well. So okay, so we want to fill it in with double crochets, but we got to make sure that this one stays forward. So we just come in and just push it out of the way with the hook and just double crochet the remaining empty ones. Okay, and there will be 3. So we've done arrow stitches in the past, and those ones are slightly different from this, but this is part of doing the holiday cables. But this is a great idea to show you how to do it. So let's do another one. So wrap and wrap. We 1 2 3 go to the 4th, just like so. Okay, that one's on an angle now, and just fill in the remaining empty ones with the double crochet. So this is the first side of doing the arrows. You can't have an arrow without having the second side to it, and when we come back we're going to explore that. So the very final stitch is just going to be a double crochet in like that. Okay, so you can see now that the arrows are now starting half side, but now we have to turn our work and finish it off so that we have 2 arrows altogether. So let's turn our work and we're going to do the arrow, and this time we're looking at the wrong side, the back side, and we need to complete it so that the arrow appears on the back side of this, the way that we're looking at it. So we're going to start off, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to do the treble. So wrap and wrap, and you can actually just look for this stitch right here, but you can count it 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the one that's right in between everything. That is where you're going to put in your treble. So here's the thing, if this one is on an angle and I did the same thing of going in behind, it's gonna cause this to be on this side of the work, which is the wrong side of the work. So this time you want to do this one so that you're pushing it back and double crocheting the ones the double crochets stitches, so that that is out of the way and on the back side. Okay, so what's happening here is that the arrow is finishing off on the other side. So let's begin another one. So we wrap and wrap. You can either look for this gap or you can count it 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter. It's the same number. And you just treble. We push it back. So just immediately come into the first one. Double crochet. Like so. So we got our 3 in there. We're ready for another one. So wrap and wrap. Okay. We just immediately look over 1, 2, 3. And go to the 4th. Now the 4th is not the final. Remember, we still have to use that final chain, so don't forget that. And we're gonna just fill in the double crochets in. So the arrow stitch is really easy. It's a stitch that I've just actually learned this year. Really, I thought it would be a lot harder than it is, and it isn't. And it's really quite fabulous. And so the very final one, you'll fill in with the double crochet. So you just have to keep reversing back and forth, and you will see that you have the arrows just popping out just like so. So this is it for now. So it's Mikey on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. When we come back, we're going to be working on the woven stitch, and this is also appearing in the holiday cables throw. Until next time, I'm your host Mikey.